company like P&G practices open innovation, it creates opportunities for other organizations as well. Let's take an interesting story from India. Some of you might have heard of the National Chemical Laboratory, India's premier chemistry research organization. Way back in the 1990s, NCL scientists under the leadership of Dr. Shivaram created what is called a microencapsulation technology. They had perfected the basic technology, they had actually got numerous US patents, but then they were struck with an interesting problem. Where do we apply this? How do we convert this into something useful and also monetize what we have done? So Dr. Shivaram went about the usual approach. He went to different companies, gave lectures, and one of the places he spoke about microencapsulation was in a talk at Procter & Gamble somewhere in the early 2000s. Somebody who was a colleague of someone who might be interested actually attended this talk and passed on this idea to the colleague. And then later, those particular scientists came back to Dr. Shivaram and suggested a particular application that could be possible for the new technology. This was use in a fabric softener. Essentially, what was the idea? A fabric softener is applied, as the name suggests, to make clothes softer when you wash them. But often after you wash clothes, you put them inside a cupboard, and sometimes they can actually get stale sitting in the cupboard. So what the microencapsulation technology allows you to do is to slowly release a very sweet smell from those washed clothes, so that the cupboard actually has a nice smell even when you're taking out the clothes much later. So P&G has a number of fabric softener products, and one of their premier products is a product called Downy Plus. And that is where P&G thought this might be applicable. So they asked NCL to look at whether this could indeed be done. P&G licensed the technology from NCL. They decided to do some experiments with it, but it took a long time. It took them 5 years and a lot of effort before this could be used in the Downy Plus formulation. NCL, of course, had to answer lots of questions along the way, but the good news is at the end of this, the whole process was successful. NCL's microencapsulation technology found a good application, and lots of people got sweet smelling clothes with the smell lasting for 2 to 3 weeks. This is the power of open innovation, and when a company like P&G creates an open innovation platform, other organizations, including organizations like NCL, can participate in this whole activity. Now, when you want to do or practice open innovation, you also need to create some systems and processes within your organization to make this happen. Just remember that open innovation doesn't mean that you can give up doing innovation altogether. Remember, it's a complementary match of different ideas. So you need to have internal capabilities to build on the external ideas. You also need to continue to make a major commitment of internal resources. It doesn't mean that you can give that up. And of course, you also need top management support. Another important dimension which is sometimes missed out is that you also need an incentive system that promotes collaboration. If the incentive system only promotes internal working and supports only internal efforts, it's very unlikely that people within an organization will reach out to others outside the organization. So just remember, open innovation certainly enhances the possible value of your innovation, but there are a few things you need to do within the organization to make open innovation work.